leave that at 11 tomorrow? Don't you start at 11? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, in theory.
Well, I don't know the theory. Ready? Yep.
Oh, we gotta check his, did you check the Twitter on his computer? It's the same thing he did on Twitter here.
So where's the Twitter?
It's not up yet. You gotta open a new tab.
Okay. New window. Twitter.
Profile, create a studio, create live.
Profile. Oh, more. Creator Studio. Media Studio. Producer.
Top right.
Create broadcast. Hudson County Live. Using current events. Select the source. HMG feed. Okay. And the stream key and everything should stay the same, right? The stream key and everything stays the same? So I can just create the broadcast and we're good?
Yep.
All right. Game on.
Thanks,
There
Dave.
you go. All right.
Rolling the cameras. Gonna time them quick just in case we find another way to screw up. Okay. Was that fine? Flap up? Right here.
You want to turn the heater off?
All right.
All right, I'm gonna start rolling the intro.
Okay.
Coming in at 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hudson County View live at Uncut. I'm your host, or what you see is what you get, and what you don't is better yet, John Arhitis. And we have actually just a plethora of Hudson County news to talk about in this particular episode, our last one for 2020. So first of all, the big news story that everyone's following right now out of North Hudson is we've seen Public Affairs Commissioner Cosmo Cirillo, who is a two-term incumbent, challenging U.S. Rep. Albio Ceres, who is of course not seeking re-election to the House after 8 terms. And that will be the mayoral contest in May 2023. So this is a hot one that has a lot of people's attention. And Commissioner Cirillo has just announced one of his running mates. That was yesterday morning. So we're going to tell you all about what's going on with this developing story that'll span for the next 6 months or so. So that's certainly the big one. On a more somber note, we're going to talk a little bit about that 4 and 5 alarm blazes that took place in West New York and Union City respectively last week. We're going to talk relief efforts and how you can help those families that are in need right now. So certainly want to give a shout out to all of our first responders, our EMS, our firefighters, and our police who did a really great job of making sure that this was not an even bigger tragedy than what it was. They certainly deserve a lot of praise for that effort right there. So wanted to say that. And we're also going to be talking about what's happening in the 31st Legislative District. We talked about this a bit last week. That was a breaking news story that just came out as we were getting set up. We heard that State Senator Sandra Cunningham has been in the hospital for nearly 2 months. And what does this mean in the event that she does resign? We're going to talk about how that process will go. We're also going to talk a little bit about what's on the Hoboken City Council agenda, and also the New Jersey School Ethics Commission removing a West New York Board of Education trustee, something that I personally have never seen happen. So we're going to talk about all that and maybe even a little bit more right after a word from our sponsors.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker.
So we'll talk about the two West New York stories first, the one with Cosmo and then the one with Margarita. And then we'll talk about Cunningham. I imagine that'll probably take us into the break, but then the fourth one will be about the fire.
Just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, certified parts and service located at Route 440 and Communipaw Ave, is your #1 source for Ford and Lincoln automotive needs. We use certified Ford Motorcraft products to keep your Ford running in top shape.
Cosmo first, then the one with both of
which
them
includes a
after.
2-year unlimited mileage
And then
guarantee.
Cunningham after
Our
that.
team will have the right Motorcraft part to ensure the best performance from your Ford or Lincoln. You can order in person at the parts counter or online. Let us help keep your Ford or Lincoln in the best shape at Stevens Jersey City Ford.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatment. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
Panepinto Properties, Jersey City, shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces and addresses your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment, adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panepintodevelopment.com. Panepinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
Hudson County View live at Uncut, John Arhitis. So let's talk West New York, probably the place, in my opinion, that has the best municipal elections in terms of action, in terms of anarchy, in terms of chaos. There's just always something that's just so interesting happening when it's election season over there. And this time is no different. You know, we got a real treat on Thursday evening where we again heard Cosmo Cirillo, the Public Affairs Commissioner, announce that he will be seeking the mayor's seat. So he did a pre-recorded video that went for a little over 2 minutes. I took out a couple excerpts here. I believe actions speak louder than words. West New York needs and deserves a mayor that is willing to put in the hard work, effort, and time, that will be available and accessible to listen and address the concerns of our community and understand the issues our residents face on a daily basis, and also work day and night to be a true servant for our community. And again, this was a pre-recorded video that Cirillo released Thursday night. It is for these reasons, after careful consideration and listening to the words of encouragement of my family and supporters, that I am officially declaring my candidacy to be the next mayor of the town of West New York. Over the coming weeks, I look forward to introducing my dynamic team that these these same values and who I believe represent the very best of West New York. So like I said, the video went out for a couple minutes, but I think you get the picture. And this is an interesting turn of events. I mean, Cirillo's a guy that's been in the political game in West New York for over a decade, maybe even closer to 15 years at this point, which is pretty remarkable considering that he's only 35 years old. And he was a school board president, and he feuded with then Mayor Felix Roque, and ended up now in present day being the Guttenberg Business Administrator and now the West New York Public Affairs Commissioner. So this is an interesting dynamic because when we heard that Albio Series wasn't going to run for the House again, we expected him to, or at least many expected him to just kind of waltz back into this mayor seat. He said he had unfinished business. He is a three-term mayor that served between 1995 and 2006. And towards the end of that tenure, he began also serving as the New Jersey Assembly Speaker. So Series is certainly a person who's got deep roots in West New York and, will have support. But the same could be said of Cirillo, of course. I mean, he's also been in office over there on the Board of Commissioners since January of 2015. He actually replaced Ruben Vargas, who ran with Roque the first time around, and he ended up pleading guilty to something related to insurance fraud and therefore had to vacate his position. So this is something that many were not expecting. And let's hear a little bit actually from Series on this. And, when I spoke to him, and he had some, pretty definitive statements, I feel like. He said, "We didn't see eye to eye with a lot of people around him. My personal opinion is he's been pushed in the wrong direction." Of course, speaking of Cirillo. "I'm a known entity. I have delivered for West New York ever since I got elected for the first time, and I continue to deliver for West New York. I'm experienced, and I think I'm well thought of in the community. There are some things that I didn't accomplish when I was there, and I want to accomplish now. I want to continue making the town of West New York better." And when I asked him, what are some priorities that you would like to build on, expand upon, or make happen for the first time if elected, the outgoing congressman told me that he'd like to build a brand new library, see a new school come in at 64th Street and Broadway, have more pocket parks, and also work on a waterfront park. Yeah, he concluded with this: "Everybody's entitled to run, and I put my record against anybody. I am very comfortable that we have done the right thing for the people." So with that said, it's certainly going to be interesting to see who runs on his ticket. We're going to get into running mates in just a moment. But before we do that, let's talk a little more about Roque, everyone's favorite pain management specialist up north. Of course, his office is right in Union City. And he's a two-term mayor himself, first elected in 2011 and then again in 2015. It came up short against the incumbent right now, Gabriel Rodriguez, in 2019. He headed that New Beginnings West New York ticket that also included Cirillo. So I spoke to Roque, and he gave some quotes that only Felix Roque could do. He said he's highly considering another run for mayor, actually highly considering. And he said, hopefully I'll be making my announcement soon, but it really got good when the conversation continued. He said, "It's always about taking care of the people, and the reality is, and we can't blame Cosmo, but the past 4 years the town has been deteriorating. Garbage all over the place. The police department is dissatisfied. They took away their overtime. They gave them the expletiviest insurance there is. We have the highest crime rate in the county. We have the highest COVID-19 rate in the county. Where was Gabe Rodriguez when all of this happened? He's been AWOL. I'm glad that he's not running again for the sake of the town. West New York is a total mess right now." And he also said that it would have been boring to see two old school Cubans, speaking of himself in Series, go head to head. And for that reason, he's happy that Cirillo jumped into the race. So there's a lot to unpack there, of course, but if the former mayor did head up a ticket and we have a three-way dance, things would get really chaotic. And I would stake a claim today that I think he will get involved, whether it's on his own ticket or joining one of these two tickets that are forming now. So speaking about the tickets forming now, not surprisingly, if you've been following West New York carefully, or perhaps even not particularly closely, but we have Revenue and Finance Commissioner Margarita Guzman coming out yesterday as a part of Team Cirillo, and they're calling themselves West New York Forward. Now, she said, "I'm extremely proud to support Commissioner Cosmo A. Cirillo, PhD, and has been to become the next mayor of the town of West New York. During the past 8 years, we served together. It is clear that his drive, determination, and passion revolve around helping our residents and moving our town in a positive direction." Assemblywoman Angelica Jimenez, who is likely to lose her seat due to redistricting, is also rumored to be running with Cirillo, while Commissioners Yolisi Yanez and Victor Barrera are rumored to be running with Series. Of course, the only formal announcement is involving Guzman. To date, we're going to follow this one very closely. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our break. We'll be right back.
Not everyone celebrates the birth of a baby. You have options. Don't panic. New Jersey has safe havens for unwanted infants. Leave the baby with staff at
So
any
now we'll have
hospital,
Cunningham.
ER, police or fire station, or rescue squad.
Okay.
And then
Call the number on your screen
the
for safe
fires.
haven locations or go to
Actually, it's
www.njsafehaven.org.
And then
No
we'll talk about the
shame,
relief
no
efforts in
blame,
West New York.
no names.
The
Safe haven.
GoFundMe, the clothing drive. And then we'll go into this trustee from West New York getting removed. That'll probably be the next segment, but just have it ready just in
There's a lot
case.
of punch packed into this Bronco Sport. It's got a ton of horsepower. I love it. All right, now we're getting hairy. Now we're getting the fun stuff. Yeah. I like how we can get over or around almost anything.
Yeah, I dig your ride. Super dig it. It's gonna be a good day.
Growing up can be tough on kids. So much is going on in the world that can cause depression or anxiety. Unusual behavior for more than 6 months could mean they need help. Don't wait. For real-time mental health support and counseling, call New Jersey's Children's System of Care. CSOC offers free mental health supports, substance use treatment, and services for intellectual or developmental disabilities for all kids up to age 21. Call now, 1-877-652-7624.
Introducing the all-new Ford Maverick. A truck for people who do stuff. And people who make stuff. People like Gabrielle Union.
I make this look good, don't I?
Who haul whatever they want to wherever they want. Like wood to build things made of wood with. And friends to get weird with. It's for long trips that the standard hybrid engine with a targeted EPA estimated city fuel economy rating of 40 miles per gallon helps with. That an 8-inch touchscreen connects with. And any trip that this interior makes more comfortable. But we'll let Gabrielle tell you all about it.
Or I could just tell them it's a Ford truck that starts at less than $20,000 MSRP.
Yep, that works too. The all-new Ford Maverick. Built to defy expectations.
Hudson County View live at Uncut, Chad Arhitis. So let's head back up south for a moment here. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the 31st Legislative District. As I mentioned at the top of the program, State Senator Sandra Cunningham is having some health issues, and there's some talk about who is going to fill the seat next. It seems like a foregone conclusion that she won't be seeking re-election next year. And of course, there's also some conversations about whether or not she will vacate that seat early. So, I did a little homework, and I came to the conclusion that in the event that she were to vacate the seat early, that it would be up to the Democratic committee members in Jersey City and Bayonne, and that's 326 seats in the event that they're all filled. And this would basically be a special election among that portion of the Democratic committee that's a part of the 31st Legislative District. So she's been there since 2007, and we've since learned from the New Jersey Globe, as I pointed out last week, that the 5-term senator has not been to Trenton since voting on the budget in June. And Attorney Matthew Burns, he's actually a former corporation counsel in Jersey City, has been placed in charge of her personal affairs. So, for those reasons, we're now talking what will happen in the event of a resignation. So in that scenario, like I said, it would be 326 people. That's 102 committee members from Bayonne and potentially 224 from Jersey City, which is a significant number out of their total plurality, which is 366. So the 31st Legislative District, we're using the old map, not the new map we got through redistricting this year. So that would be all of the Peninsula City, the entirety of Jersey City's wards A and F, with select districts from wards B, C, and D too, about a handful from those three. So, we've heard a lot of conversations about the replacement in an interim basis, being John Manila, who's of course Jersey City Mayor Stephen Fulop's chief of staff. And we've also heard that there's a number of people who want to run for the seat for the full term, and that includes County Commissioner Bill O'Day, County Commissioner Jerry Walker, and Assemblywoman Angela McKnight. And we've also heard Jersey City Council President Joyce Waterman's name thrown into the mix. So, quite a few unknowns still about this. But, at the end of the day, per committee rules, anyone within the district can be nominated and the vote must take place on voting machines. And while this is something that probably not everyone is familiar with, I mean, I've only seen it a few times myself, it's certainly not far from unprecedented. You guys might recall a couple years ago, the Democratic committee members from the county's 6th district appointed Fanny Cedeno to succeed Tilo Rivas, who's now the county surrogate, as freeholder in January 2020. Of course, the position has since been renamed county commissioner, but that wasn't that long ago. That was, close to 3 years ago, but not terribly long ago by Hudson politics standards. So also something that I think needs to be noted here, as we heard from Rivovich Institute of New Jersey Politics Director Mika Rasmussen on Twitter, the state Senate has the ability to expel a member as well as potentially declaring a vacancy in the event an incumbent is no longer fit to serve. Of course, that's not something that we see or hear very often, but we're following this one very closely as well. And as soon as we get an update on Senator Cunningham's health or what exactly is happening next politically in the 31st District, we're going to let you know. And once again, I offer my thoughts and prayers to her family, and we hope that she gets well very soon. With that, we're going to talk about another, a tragic situation, really, that happened in North Hudson last week. We saw these fires break out in West New York and Union City simultaneously. One was a 4-alarm in West New York, and then you had the 5-alarm in Union City, which was actually at the Salvation Army building that's right across the street from the Coach House at about 900 Kennedy Boulevard. So that's an area that all Hudson County politicos know well. And it's a real tragedy, a real heartbreak to see that happen during the holiday season. And I had a chance to speak with North Hudson Regional Fire and Rescue Chief David Donnarumma, and he said that the 4-story apartment building near the intersection of 55th and Madison Streets, that's actually the Orient and the Bori Queen Bodega, and they had 13 firefighters sustain injuries such as smoke inhalation, cuts that require stitches, exhaustion, muscle strains, and at least 21 individual apartments were displaced. We've learned later in the week that over 40 families were in need of assistance as the result of this. Fortunately, the only, close thing to good news here is that the Salvation Army building, didn't have any residential to worry about, but that building looks like a foregone conclusion that's going to be condemned. And the West New York building is not looking much better either. Donnarumma told me in my 31-year career, I've never witnessed it, referring to 2 large-scale fires occurring at once. Again, I just have to communicate that the mutual aid package and our recall capabilities made this successful. What he's speaking of is you had just so much first responder support in that area. I actually drove by that night and you saw the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety, Jersey City Fire Department, Bayonne Fire Department, Hoboken, Secaucus, Kearney, everyone was there. It was all hands on deck, and that's the collaborative effort he's talking about that helped make this situation a little more manageable than what it could have been if it was just one department on the scene. And of course, we have a lot of efforts going on. I won't get into too much detail here, but there's at least 3 GoFundMe pages that we've identified for residents that live in those West New York buildings. And we also had a clothing drive on Sunday. And for those of you that haven't had a chance to get involved and help yet, Commissioner Cirillo is actually hosting a happy hour at Social 59. That's on Thursday, 512 59th Street between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. The minimum suggested donation is $50. This is done in conjunction with the North Hudson Rotary Club, and all donations will go towards the fire victims. So with that, we're going to take another break. We'll be right back.
150 around front, please. We designed the F-150 to be tough. And we delivered on towing and payload like you'd expect. We also made it smart, starting with an available hybrid powertrain. This engine also allows you to use your truck as a high wattage generator. It's the kind of capability that a truck owner's really never had before.
The Ford Maverick is a smaller truck, but the available 2.0-liter EcoBoost engine has plenty of horsepower and torque and allows you to tow all kinds of stuff. And if you need to take the Maverick out past city limits, there's select drive modes to take on different terrains, as well as the FX4 off-road package with all-wheel drive.
Hudson County View live on Uncut. John Arhitis. So one more out of West New York for today. This is an interesting one, I think. I've never seen anything like it. The New Jersey School Ethics Commission removed a West New York Board of Education trustee for failure to file his financial disclosure form. All electeds in the state of New Jersey are required to file this once a year. And in this case of Ismail Dalia, a trustee that was named in the beginning of January 2021, that is, he never filed one, and he was reelected in April of 21. And finally this year, the NJSEC decided that enough was enough, and they removed him, and the formal action was taken at last week's board meeting in West New York. And just some background, Dalia was elected as part of the Your Children's Future team in April 2021, and he was vacated from his post due to formal action from NJSEC Chair Robert Bender. And again, that was made official, formal, if you will, at Wednesday's Board of Education meeting. And I spoke to Board of Education President Adam Parkinson, and he explained it to me like this. What they do, there are 4 different penalties: a reprimand, censure, suspension, or removal from office. He had showed up to school board meetings for quite some time, but the school board respected the will of the voters in 2021 and did not feel it was our place to remove him. Wish him all the best, and we appreciate his service to the school district, but ultimately the SEC ruled that he would be removed. So just an interesting fact, perhaps, for those of you who may not know, if a school board trustee misses 3 consecutive meetings in New Jersey, the board has the ability to remove them. I don't know exactly how many meetings he missed, but it seems fairly evident that he missed a lot more than 3, and they chose not to do that since he was elected, and they wanted the will of the people to remain heard, which, I could understand that argument. But, the state ended up coming in, and that's the way the ball bounces, I guess, on this one. Now, it's a 9-member governing body, like every other school board here, and it's a volunteer post, but nonetheless, the seat must be filled. And that's going to be considered at tonight's meeting at West New York Middle School. That's 201 57th Street, where they have all their meetings. So they've looked at some resumes, and now they're going to pick the new trustee based off that. And we're also going to hear how long of a term this will be, whether or not this will require a special election, or if this will just have 4 seats on the ballot in April of 2023, just a month before those municipal elections we were talking about, or if this will actually end up necessitating a special, like I just mentioned. So we're going to keep our eyes on that. And actually, quickly on West New York, the West New York Democratic Committee held an event at the Gray Cliff in Moonachie yesterday, and the guests of honor were Mayor Gabriel Rodriguez and Rep. Series. And, look, it's no secret to anyone that the HCDO is going to coalesce around that faction. You saw HCDO Chair Anthony Veneri. You saw former state senator. He was actually a Senate Majority Leader for a brief period of time. Bernie Kenny was there. Of course, you saw the West New York Dem Committee Chair, Jonathan Castaneda, who's now the manager for special projects in town as well. You saw Parkinson, who I just mentioned, the superintendent of schools. So a lot of North Hudson mainstays were there. Oh, and of course, State Senator and Union City Mayor Brian Stack made an appearance. So the battle lines are being drawn, and that shouldn't really surprise anyone. Like I said, we're going to be watching this one as closely as we possibly can, and I imagine there's going to be multiple updates a week here through May. So before we call it a season, really, call it a year, I guess, we're going to just talk briefly about what's happening in the Mile Square City. A few big agenda items on tomorrow's agenda. And what we're going to see here, first of all, they're looking at a new DPW site. We've talked on this program countless times about how they want the Poggi Press site. That's 1501 Adam Street. They wanted to do a municipal complex, police, fire, EMS, OEM, municipal court, a garden, a pool, rooftop garden, that is, so on and so forth. Well, it looks like that's out the window, at least for the short term, because now they're looking at an $84.3 million bond to acquire a new DPW site that's in the area of Jefferson Street and 15th and 16th Streets. It's a lot occupied by Academy Bus. That's Madison and Jefferson Streets on 15th and 16th Streets, let me just clarify. And the majority of the 40-year bond, $80 million, would go towards the rehabilitation, renovation, and reconstruction of those blocks. So I heard from city spokeswoman Marilyn Barr. She said after months of negotiations with various property owners on the north end and several discussions with the city council, the bond ordinance would enable the city to complete ongoing negotiations with Jefferson Street partners for the purchase of their property for a new public works facility, provided the council adopts it on second reading. So she continued that Mayor Ravi Bala was happy to say that 1st Ward Councilman Mike DeFusco and 4th Ward Councilman Ruben Ramos are in support of the plan. They were 2 of the 4 who did not support the Poggi Press plan. And since that bonding measure had to have 6 affirmative votes, they were never able to move forward, despite the fact the mayor said quite definitively in May that this was going to happen. And the other 2, of course, that were against it was 2nd Ward Councilwoman Tiffany Fisher and 6th Ward Councilwoman Jen Giattino. So very quickly, let's also talk about this item that was tabled. They were looking at a North End Special Assessment District, and this was going to be also in the 5th Ward, and they were looking at a legal contract with a law firm McManaman, Scotland & Bauman LLC, not to exceed $25,000 through December 7, 2023. However, that item has been pulled for further evaluation and discussion in Council Subcommittee, according to Barr. This had some dismay from some residents online because they felt like if they were in this zone, they would have to cover the costs of a lot of city functions like garbage removal. But that's for another day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your continued support. We will see you next year.